road. There's another movement of the hillside up there, and we've got some solutions here to talk about.
Thank you, Ian. After the July Board of Supervisors meeting, it was discovered there was additional movement on Coleman Road directly across from the driveway at 477 Coleman Road. This is about 300 feet south of the repair that we made earlier in the year during the month of May and into June. The movement only encompassed some of the shoulder of the road and the guide rail and did not have any impact on the roadway. As a result of this, we worked with Public Works and excavated the area of the slip to investigate and identify a possible cause for the movement. There was some water discovered, and it was observed during the test pit excavation there was a rock shelf approximately 8 feet down from the elevation of the roadway, similar to what we had found up the road earlier in the year. We're proposing a similar solution. It would be a 66-foot long wall, 8 foot high, with a concrete cap. The current location will require the construction of a footer because the rock shelf kind of juts in back towards the center line, so we can create a level surface and fill in some other voids. Since Youngblood had completed the work earlier in the year, we asked them to provide us with a price, which was $97,687.25. Now that price included the footer and the milling and paving of that portion of Coleman Road, so we could get a bituminous wedge curb along the slope and get the water down to the inlet. So at this point, there's been no impact on the road, but it could change at any time. One concern we have is the road's being used by school buses starting in late August, and we've got two options. Number one, consider the matter an emergency to get a couple more prices and proceed with the low bidder to minimize delay, so we reduce our risk of future damages to the road. And the other would be to competitively bid the project immediately and make an award at the September Board of Supervisors meeting. And but that would delay the work until probably mid to late September. So,
can I ask a few questions before we go? We've spent at this point over $1 million just in repairs, not including the $2 million that we spent paving that road 2 years ago or a year ago. Why? Like, what can we do to prevent that from happening? We can't keep spending millions and millions of dollars repairing that road over and over and over again.
Well, I think, Cindy, part of the problem is it's Mother Nature, and there's things that are occurring along Coleman Road with geology. There's rock shelves, there's clay, there's even areas that we've come across. There's red dog that was used as fill. And there's a lot of.
I don't know this before we spent all that money paving up there.
Well, I mean, we did do core borings along Coleman Road, but those are at random locations. And back in 2015, as a result of the core borings we did up there, we did put in 4 large retaining walls at locations where it indicated there was potentials for slides. So there's been a lot of water this year. We've got a lot of maybe a high groundwater table. When Bill and I were up there in May working on the one that Youngblood did, we tried to find the source of a spring that was coming down and caused us a lot of problems, and we never found it. So, as weather and geology changes, water moves in different directions and causes slides to occur.
I mean, you're talking $3 million on one road on a $9 million budget. Like, we have to do something. We can't keep having these emergencies that we need to spend $150,000, $200,000 on because it adds up quickly. And so I guess that's why I'm asking you. I know you can't prevent everything, but something has to be done to keep this from.
The nature of the road, and we've talked about this before, is it's partly on cut and partly on fill. And what happens is on that low side, you could potentially put a wall the whole way along there. It's steep and it's got the potential to slide. So what we did was, when we originally did the road, we started out with drainage, then we tried to evaluate where people felt from history and from some other empirical information that we had, where the wells were to be located. So we started from there, and we did our best to establish where the walls needed to be. Again, we could have put belts and suspenders on and said we need a wall the whole way along the road, but that just wouldn't make sense either. Some of it's more stable where the rock is a little bit further out and it's holding the road in a better in a better position and it won't be a problem. So what we're encountering now is an extremely wet year. We have steep slopes and there's slides going on all over the county and different places. So while it cringes me to say that it's moving again at a certain point, I can't, and again, Joe and I can't, we can't see underground. And as an engineer, you try to make the best decisions you can based upon the information you have. Because you don't want your client to spend money they don't have to either. So that's where we are now. We have another one. Is it the last one? I hope it is. But I can't, the nature of that road up there and the way it was built originally is that we don't know that. We don't know where it could occur next or whether it will occur next. So,
What we do know is it's the only township where we have to go on the edge of a cliff at the base of it, with a stream at the base of it.
right.
It's the only road we have like that. And what are we going to do? We can't abandon the road now.
You have a significant investment in it now, and like I say, it's a challenge. It really is. I don't know what to say. Although, you could drill the whole road the whole way down there and determine whether it's going to happen again somewhere. But why spend more money on engineering and other things when you don't? It may or may not be needed. You know what I mean? There's a balance between the way we look at things, and that's what we're trying to do.
Is it costing us more money because we keep having to do these as emergencies?
Because what?
We keep having to do them as emergencies versus a plan.
No, I mean, well, and that's part of it. I mean, we could, with Youngblood, we bid the work that we had, so we had a unit price that to compare to. So the only difference is that this part of the road, the work on, is a little bit steeper, it's a little bit tighter to be down over that hill. So I think that they had to factor in a little bit more related to that.
That's really that foot.
Yeah.
We'll modify the foot different from the one we did earlier in the year because the rock shelf, even though it's at 8 feet, it's got a jut in it that comes back in towards the center of the road where we've got to build a wall and underneath it to support the footer.
So that's why it's costing
That's
more
why
money.
it's costing more, yes.
But Joe gave us an option. He gave us an option to say, hey, listen, you don't have to treat it as an emergency. If that's your position, you can make that board here.
It's not my position. I'm just trying to understand everything before I make a decision. It just seems like every single month or every other month we're coming back and saying, okay, we need another $150,000 for slides on Coleman Road.
We put weight limits on it to try to keep the heavier
Don't
trucks
we
off.
have, we have weight limits on. Are we enforcing it?
What is it? What is the weight limits?
5 tons.
The chief has requested some additional signs, and I have those on order.
We need to make sure.
What is the weight limit? Is it 5 ton or 10? 5 ton. I have a comment and a question. My comment is, during the past 6 years when we had the first slide, not being an expert on roads, but I felt that road should be moved over 10 or 15 feet. I was mixed because of the cost of it, and here we are putting up money after money. But what I want to know is this, that's in the past. What I want to know is this. What are the chances of any of the walls that were put up collapsing or something happening? Is this a permanent thing wherever it exists?
To equate what these walls are, they're walls that are sitting on concrete footings. They're like a foundation wall of a house.
But not like the walls of Jericho.
I mean, for the materials and the way construction occurs in this area, they're concrete walls on concrete footings that would say they have at least a 50-year life. So that's what you buy in this day and age.
So the last one, and I haven't been up there on this last one yet, is it the one that's furthest north? Or is there another one that we've done that's further north and this is an in-between one?
This one's in between. There's one closer to that runs parallel to Adaminsky's property, and then this will be the next one across from 477 Coleman, and then the next wall is along the bank.
All right, is this sealing the area between the two?
Yes. Well, it's not filling in the whole gap, Elizabeth. It's only fix is 66 feet.
Out of how much, what is the length of the gap? Or an estimate if you don't know. So.
Yeah, it's probably, I would say probably 140 to 160 feet away from another wall.
Away from, not total.
No, the length of this wall is 66 feet.
And the length of the wall we put in May would be,
Close to 70,
That was almost 78 feet. So
78.
we're probably 150, 200 feet
from now. Yes, but there's another wall between that. No, there's,
All right, well, that's,
It's not germane, I mean, what's important is with the fix, what good it is.
so what's the intent of the board, to treat it as an emergency, with that option or alternative?
What's the difference between the two, Tom?
Well, right off the bat, if he gets another price, we're going to board tonight, authorize him not to exceed the amount, and once he gets that other price, he can authorize the work to be done. I mean, we're committed to it.
How safe is the road when school starts around the 25th?
28.
How safe is the road to travel?
It's fairly safe.
For the buses?
will the construction impact the, I mean, we keep worrying about the protection of the school children, but.
How soon will it start?
John and I met with Todd Duncan out there, and we asked him about the possibility of maintaining a yield to oncoming traffic pattern during construction out there. And we took a look at the embankment, over the embankment. And I currently, when we dug the test hole out there with Joe, we backed over R4 rock. And Todd seemed confident that he may be able to pull that down and construct a tow bench to work on. That being said, if he constructs a tow bench, that would put that rock face pretty much at working elevation for him. And he may be able to do that work under an open condition, yield to oncoming traffic pattern. So,
I mean, I think that has to be a consideration because we're closing the bridge on Miller's
and
Run.
we've asked him to look at that.
Yes, we did. The other thing is where this wall is proposed, up the road, a short distance, is a flatter spot where we put the storm sewer in back in 2015, where we can take the guide around.
Microphone, Joe.
And we can take down the guide rail and track the machine and the materials down over the slope to help work over the slope without impeding the traffic.
Joe, is there a pipe crossing at this location also?
No, there is
No. But there's a basin across the street by that driveway. Me and Bill were there today.
That's up the
That's
bottom.
up
Yeah,
That's going the other way.
further up.
where that basin is, Frank, across the road, there's a nail, that's where we would gain access to get down over to the
But
slope.
is that basin running under and that's what's causing?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
How
Is
long?
there a berm that's carrying the water down the road, or does it exit the street right there and go over the hill?
No, it's not actually over the hill.
So the water goes straight down the street?
It falls back into the gutter on the other side.
Do you know the property owner that is directly across from, or you didn't recognize those other names and I don't memorize the 477?
It's Marilyn and Teddy.
Dan, one more thing, the police department is aware that when that bridge closes up here, a lot of truckers are gonna know that that's a shortcut to, if they're heading to McDonald direction to 22 towards Quicksilver, the worry is that they're gonna try to shoot up that road there. So I mean, I think Sean, what provisions are you making to, when a bridge closes, to watch out for that?
Yeah, we. Bill and I actually met. We're going to actually get more signs put up and put, as well as what did I mention about enforcement? Extremely enforced. Strictly enforced. So we're going to have the officers start monitoring that location when the traffic is detoured. But right now, Bill is putting more signs up at each part of the roadway for us, and we're going to be more alert on that.
How long might